Yo, what up? It's the boy Rich. We're back with another Pokemon battle for the channel against the homie Zach off Discord. Now, this is the homie. We battled I want to say this battle took place maybe in late June, maybe July. I don't know. This battle took place a while ago, like some months. But it was good, so you guys should stick around and, watch it until the end and all that. Because, yeah, it was a good RU battle. And I wanted to go ahead and get it recorded and upload it. Looking at my opponent's team, he definitely has some threats like the Doublade, the Feraligatr. Honestly, those two Pokemon are the biggest threats to me. Like, I am always so afraid to see these things on team preview because these things, you slip up once, they get like a sword dance, a dragon dance, and then next thing you know, your cheeks are getting whopped. So yeah, definitely have to watch out for those Pokemon. He also has a Toxicroak as well, which I had to watch out. That's like an honorable mention. That Pokemon is definitely a threat as well. Looking at my team, I threw a Miloetta on it because I was like, I want to see what this Pokemon's about. Everything else I've used pretty often. I've used Florges typically in like my UU battles. I didn't honestly even realize this Pokemon was RU for a minute because I was like, why is this Pokemon even RU when it does like the same stuff as a Sylveon? But I don't really know. But I threw him on the team because I was like, I just want to go ahead and use him. But we're gonna go ahead and hop into the battle. So, looking at my opponent's team, I was like, he has a Fortress. I was like, people typically throw those out. They get their toxic spikes out. They get their spikes. They get their stealth rocks. They're just good Pokemon to start out with. Just saying. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and start out with my little Rotom Heat, my little freaking oven thingy over here. This is a legit shiny, by the way. Like, I hatched this thing. Just going to go ahead and say that because I was really proud of it. So, like, I hatched this stuff myself. But anyway, first turn I realized kind of late that he also has a camera up on his team, so going for overheat is probably not the play. But I just went for pain split anyway, which like I didn't really get anything done with that attack either. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and hard swap into my Araquanid the second turn because I was like, I have liquidation. I was like, if this camera wants to like flamethrower me or do whatever he wants to do, I was like, I can just hit this thing up with a clean liquidation this next turn. But my opponent actually makes a really good play. He goes for the toxic instead of, anything else that he could have used. But then I kind of realized, I was like, this thing probably couldn't hurt my Rotom either because my Rotom oven, whatever, doesn't sit on the floor to get hit with like earth powers and stuff. But now my freaking Araquanid is on a timer, and that sucks because that's not really where I wanted him to be. So I did also realize that my opponent had the Toxicroak on his team, and most of the time these Pokemon are probably ran with like dry skin, so that they can't be like scalded and whatnot. If you guys don't know what dry skin does, instead of taking damage from water attacks, they actually get HP from it. So I did also decide to hard swap into my Rotom because my guy is defensive. I was hoping that this wasn't one of those specially attacking nasty plot Toxicroaks because those are definitely a thing too. And the bad thing about the dry skin ability is that they take extra damage from fire moves, so I really didn't want to play around with this thing at all. Once I see my opponent start setting up stuff like that, I'm like, I just gotta kill you. I'm not even about to over predict and try to go for anything else. I just was gonna go ahead and go for the overheat right here, even though I kind of knew the camera up was coming in. My opponent didn't want to stay in. He definitely could have hit me up with some kind of attack, but he just chose to swap out. I realized nobody really needed to die right here, so I really don't blame my opponent for swapping out. Plus, every time he does that, he gets momentum. He's not taking any damage from my fire attacks, but he hits my Araquanid up with a very clean Fire Blast that does more damage than I'm comfortable with. But I really wasn't worried too much. I thought that the Toxicroak would be coming back in expecting like a liquidation or something, so I just went ahead and went for Leech Life, which in turn wasn't going to be doing too much damage either. But I was like, at least it's not getting HP from my attack. But of course he goes into his Hunter, his Fortress over here, and I'm assuming that he just wants to go ahead and rapid spin away these sticky webs that I just put down not too long ago, which is definitely the move to make. Everybody knows once your opponent gets sticky webs out, like my mind goes into like this mode where I'm like, dude, I have to rapid spin, I have to defog these webs away. Like, I hate playing under webs. I say it all the time. I hate slow Pokemon. I hate it. But yeah, that's exactly what he does. He gets rid of my webs using the rapid spin. I decided, instead of going into the Rotom, it's time to change the chemistry of this battle up. I decided to go ahead and go into my Roserade, which since my opponent's just hard swapped out of here instead of going for like a Volt Switch, I'm assuming he knows that I have the Hidden Power Fire, but I just decided to go ahead and go for the Sleep Powder right here because I don't like showing that I have the Hidden Power Fire unless I absolutely have to. So I am glad that I was able to go ahead and put this camera up to sleep, this Pyroclastic, because I'm tired of, honestly, this Pokemon coming in and just like tanking attacks and stuff. Like once this Pokemon falls, my Pokemon will be able to do a little bit more. And I got a crit on that first Giga Drain. It was risky business right there because he definitely could have woke up and hit me with a Fire Blast, and my Roserade definitely ain't surviving no Fire Blast from the camper straight up. But yeah, my opponent didn't want to stay in and get hit with another Giga Drain, so he decides to go into this Celestia, this Gardevoir, and since he did hard swip this thing right into my Roserade, I'm definitely assuming that this thing has the Choice Scarf on him, because that is a common item for Gardevoirs these days to be holding. Because otherwise, like, I could have just easily hit him with like a Sludge Bomb or something. So that's kind of confirms that that's what this thing is holding. So he's locked into Psyshock. I went ahead and went into my defensive Florges because I was like, I could stay in here, hit that thing with some Moonblast, and not even have to worry about this Gardevoir at all. I decided to go ahead and go for a Wish this first turn because I figured my opponent would go ahead. I figured he would go ahead and swap out into something else, and he goes into his Hunter, his Florges, his Fortress. I'm sorry, I'm getting these names mixed up because I have a Florges on my side of the field, but he's just going to go ahead and Volt Switch out of here. I guess he assumed that I was going to be afraid of this thing and not have Hidden Power Fire, and just swap out. He'd get some nice little momentum. It's not the case. I'm staying in here with my Florges. I ain't afraid of nothing, and I am just going to go ahead and get that nice Wish damage right here. So I am back at full Wish recovery, not damage. But this Feraligatr is in here, and like I said, I am just terrified of this Pokemon. I know he's about to go ahead and start the Dragon Dances. I don't have anything that has like Unaware, so I am just super afraid. There was a time I was carrying a Quagsire on just like every single team because I was tired of having to deal with these things. But I just went ahead and went for the Moonblast right there because I was like, I have to get some damage. Hopefully I'll be able to survive a liquidation from him, and as you guys can see, I did. I was in red HP, granted, and I wasn't able to kill this thing with 2 Moonblasts, but I was still so proud. Like, that was a sheer force liquidation stab from this freaking Feraligatr, and like, I was able to live, and there was no point in my floor just dying right there because I was like, I have a Rocky Helmet Araquanid in the back of my team who is just on a toxic timer, and I don't really feel like I just need him anymore, especially since the camera up's HP is already in the red. I feel like he did what he needed to do. He was enough of a problem for my opponent, and I was able to go ahead and knock out that Feraligatr. So I was just so happy the way I played around that Feraligatr, and we were back to a blank field. I figured my opponent would want to go ahead and go back out into his Fortress because, you know, it's just not really getting hit hard by anything. So I just decided to go ahead and go into my Rotom Heat because I was like, worst case scenario, I can just go ahead and get some overheats off. His Pyroclastic has like no HP, so I am just going to go ahead and keep staying in here, going for these overheats because I'm, you know, even though it's like not very effective, I was like, I can probably kill this thing now with that amount of HP with 1 overheat. So I am really happy that I was able to go ahead and knock out this freaking Pokemon. Like, this freaking camera, this thing was such a problem for me. I felt like he was being such an a-hole to me, but now the Celestia is out here, and I figured he was gonna go ahead and lock himself into Psyshock because he's not gonna lock himself into Moonblast against a fire type. So since I am physically defensive, I wasn't worried about the damage I was going to be taking. I just decided to go ahead and Volt Switch on out of here. Especially, then the Pokemon I decided to come in wouldn't take a Psyshock. So I felt like it was worth it. And I just decided to go into my Meloetta. He's locked into Psyshock. It's not going to be doing too much to my Meloetta. And he decides to go ahead and go into his Hunter, his Fortress over here, because I am just like Psychic and normal, and you know, in reality that's just not going to be doing too much to his Fortress, and he's going to be getting these leftovers, recovery and stuff. I just decided to go ahead and go for the workup. I did say that this Pokemon is like dual attacking. I have Psychic, I have Drain Punch, I have a little something for everybody, and I just decided to go ahead and go for a Psychic. I know he resist it, but I thought I thought it may be enough to kill this fortress, but it wasn't. Leaves him in red HP as my opponent just gets some last ditch effort stealth rocks out of here. We have been swapping out quite a bit, and I do have some Pokemon in the back that wouldn't appreciate stealth rocks too much, so I am just gonna decide to stay in here, go for another sidekick so I can just finally knock this wall out. And that's just that's like 2 Pokemon that were just walling my team, and I am really happy that I was able to go ahead and get them out of here. But now we have a super huge problem. I honestly thought that I was about to go ahead and get ran right here, because I was like, dang, this Doublade is out here. I have to hard swap out. This thing is definitely going to go for Sword Dance. I was like, this is the most common thing that these things do. I've never seen a Doublade do anything else, to be completely honest, but he gets that Sword Dance up, and I was like, he doesn't have enough speed to try to go for anything else but a Shadow Sneak. And luckily for me, since my guy is just so defensive, I was able to survive a Shadow Sneak, a +2 Shadow Sneak from a Doublade with like 21 HP, and I am playing no games with this thing. No games. I just went ahead and decided to pop that Z move, pop that Inferno Overdrive, and even with the Eviolite, this thing is just not going to be able to take all this heat that I'm bringing over, you know, into his Iron Twin. So this thing went down, and after this Pokemon went down, I felt, you know, a big relief in this battle, because I was like, now I don't have to deal with this Pokemon as much. But the only issue that I was kind of that came at this point in the battle was like, I can't swap out because he has Stealth Rocks up, and yeah, I was like, he has the Stealth Rocks up. I can't swap back in. This is my defogger. That kind of sucks. So I had to kind of let my Rotom die right here. But honestly, that man did the damn thing. So yeah, I just decided to go back into my Meloetta. Since he is just locked into this Psyshock, it's not going to be hurting me too much. I thought, you know, maybe a Relic Song would be enough to go ahead and, you know, destroy this Meloetta. It is, I believe, like a normal move, and it was not. He survives on just a little bit of HP, and what makes this whole thing completely worse is that I just changed into a normal and fighting type, and since this thing is Choice Scarf, if he would have hit me with another Psyshock, my Meloetta just would have died. So yeah, he didn't really get to do too much. This Gardevoir is just trying to take as many Pokemon down with him before I'm able to kill him. So I just hard swapped into my Florges because I didn't feel like Meloetta needed to die right there. And I am just going to go ahead and go back into my Meloetta. I'm going to take some Stealth Rocks damage, and I'm hoping that I don't get like crit by the Psyshock right here, because of course he's locked in here. He can't swap out either. And I am just going to go ahead and try to hit this Pokemon up with a nice clean Psychic, so I can go ahead and finally get rid of this thing, because he's being just a late game issue to me. He's just doing the absolute most. I feel like I had like 5 Pokemon before that Pokemon came out, and he just came out and just wrecked shop before he went down. But now we just got this last little problem right here, this Dart, and he just decided to go for the Sucker Punch. He had to, honestly. If he didn't, I was going to hit him up with the Psychic, and he just was not going to be able to do too much to me. So this battle still was in anybody's hands. He definitely, like I said, if he was like Z-move or something, he definitely would have been able to go ahead and destroy me. I could have went for anything. Giga Drain wouldn't do too much to him. Hidden Power Fire wasn't going to be able to kill him. And a Poison, Sludge Bomb is my other move other than Sleep Powder, wasn't going to be able to do too much. So luckily I did not miss the Sleep Powder right here. I put him to sleep, and like I said earlier, since he has the Dry Skin ability, these Hidden Power Fires are going to be doing just a tad bit extra damage to him. So I was really comfortable. He didn't wake up the second turn, and even if he did happen to destroy my Roserade, I still have a whole Nidoqueen in the back who I feel like could have taken any move from this Toxicroak, and I would have fired off like an Earth Power or something. So we didn't actually have to, you know, get into the Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen didn't really get any playtime this battle, but I still felt like it was a really good battle, because I feel like it came down to the wire. Like, I didn't feel like it was my battle until I actually got the Sleep Powder off on the Toxicroak at the end. So yeah, if you guys stayed to the end, thank you guys so much. I hope you actually enjoyed watching these battles as much as I enjoy uploading them for you. But if you did like it, go ahead and drop that like for me. If you are not subscribed to me and are looking forward to my future battles, which I'm going to be trying to upload a little bit more, you know, go ahead and sub to me, and those can get like in your sub box or notification box, whatever whatever. You guys can check them out whenever you want to. But thank you guys again for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.